Thousands of people gather outside a bank, completely unaware that inside, a daring team is attempting the impossible, breaking into one of the most secure vaults ever built. Even if they manage to unlock it, escaping with what's hidden inside will be an entirely different challenge. So, what makes this vault so special, and what treasure is worth risking everything for? The story begins in 1656, deep in the Atlantic Ocean, where a violent storm causes a ship carrying a mysterious chest to sink beneath the waves. The scene then shifts to September 2009, where a group of treasure hunters is searching for the wreck of that very ship. They have already recovered several valuable artifacts from the seabed, but the most important item, the mysterious chest, remains missing. Leading the expedition is a man named Walter. Along with his team, he continues searching beneath the ocean for hours until they finally discover the long-lost chest. Soon afterward, Walter's friend and business partner, James, arrives, and both men celebrate the discovery. However, their excitement is short-lived when Spanish authorities suddenly appear and seize the ship, arresting Walter's team. The story then moves to a courtroom where it is revealed that Walter never received permission from Spain to conduct the search operation so close to Spanish territorial waters. As a result, the Spanish government claims ownership of all the treasure recovered from the wreck. Later, Walter meets with Margaret, a representative of the British government. Until now, Britain had fully supported Walter's mission to locate the lost treasure, but because Spain refuses to cooperate, the priceless discovery slips out of Walter's hands. Soon, the military arrives with the recovered treasure and transports it to a Spanish bank. The man responsible for protecting the bank is Gustav, the chief of security. The treasure is secured inside an extremely protected vault known for being one of the most advanced and difficult vaults ever created. The story then moves forward 1 year to 2010, where we are introduced to a brilliant young engineer named Tom. Having recently completed his advanced engineering studies, he quickly becomes the target of several major companies. One after another, they offer him lucrative positions, promising impressive salaries and better opportunities. However, Tom rejects every offer because he has no interest in living a routine corporate life. His father becomes increasingly concerned and constantly advises him to make a decision about what he truly wants to do with his future. At that moment, Tom unexpectedly receives a mysterious message telling him to come outside. Unsure who sent it, he follows the instruction and meets a man who hands him a coat. Inside one of its pockets is nothing but an address. Curious, Tom travels there and discovers a lively party in progress. Wondering why he has been invited, he looks around until a young woman approaches him and guides him away from the crowd. She casually positions herself near another man as if engaged in conversation, but during the interaction, she secretly steals his wallet. Confused, Tom asks why she did it. The woman jokingly claims she doesn't own a wallet, but Tom immediately notices the stolen item hidden inside her jacket pocket. It becomes clear that she is an exceptionally talented thief. The woman then escorts Tom to another location where he finally meets Walter, the treasure hunter from earlier. Walter reveals the real reason for bringing him there. He explains that the team intends to break into the most secure vault in the world, a masterpiece often referred to as a miracle of engineering. Nobody outside the bank fully understands how the vault operates or how it can be opened. Because Tom is a gifted engineer, Walter believes he is the only person capable of figuring it out. Initially, Tom refuses the proposal, but after spending some time thinking about it, he realizes that this unusual challenge is exactly the kind of adventure he has been searching for. Returning home, he begins researching the legendary vault inside the Bank of Spain. Everywhere he looks, he finds the same conclusion: it is impossible to crack. Eventually, Tom decides to join Walter's operation. Upon arriving at the airport, he encounters the mysterious woman once again and learns her real name is Lauren. Together, they travel to Spain, where they discover that the country is completely focused on a major football tournament. Spain's national team has successfully reached the quarterfinals, creating excitement across the entire nation. After arriving at their destination, Walter begins introducing Tom to the rest of the crew. First is Elias, an expert hacker capable of bypassing complex computer systems. Next is James, a dependable operative willing to handle any assignment. Finally, there is Simmons. At this stage, Tom becomes the brain behind the entire mission and starts directing every step of the operation. However, the team faces a serious obstacle. Every employee working at the Bank of Spain has their own unique password. If they can get access to even one employee's credentials, they can infiltrate parts of the bank's surveillance network. After thinking for a moment, Tom comes up with a clever solution. He suggests that if an employee happens to be off duty, someone from the team can impersonate a bank representative and contact them. The fake caller would claim that there is an urgent message from the bank that can only be accessed after confirming their password. The plan works perfectly. The employee reveals the password, allowing the team to gain access to several important CCTV cameras. Although they cannot control every camera in the bank, they now have access to some crucial surveillance feeds. This immediately proves to everyone that Tom is an invaluable addition to the crew. At the same time, James and Simmons head toward the railway tunnels to investigate whether any hidden underground passage might connect to the bank. Meanwhile, Walter reveals another important secret to Tom. Centuries ago, during the 1500s, a man named Francis Drake stole an enormous treasure from Spain and concealed it in an unknown location. Nobody ever discovered where the treasure was hidden, but Drake left clues engraved on 3 special coins. Those coins were stored inside a unique chest, the exact same chest that disappeared beneath the ocean at the beginning of the story. After being recovered from the sea, the chest was eventually secured inside the legendary Miracle of Engineering vault at the Bank of Spain. The team continues preparing their operation. The bank is protected by surveillance cameras covering virtually every corner, and any suspicious activity can trigger a response from hundreds of soldiers who remain on standby at all times. Entering through normal means is therefore impossible. Their only realistic chance is to discover a hidden underground route connected to the building. During their investigation, they obtain 2 important drawings. One comes from a former employee who once worked at the Bank of Spain and had knowledge of the internal structure of the Miracle of Engineering vault. The second drawing depicts a mysterious statue, although nobody on the team understands its significance yet. Their biggest challenge remains the vault itself. Before they can open it, they must first understand exactly how its mechanism works. Unfortunately, none of them can figure it out. To solve this problem, they contact the bank using a fabricated excuse, claiming that they are coming to perform maintenance and cleaning services. Simmons successfully gets the request approved and even creates fake identification documents for a fictitious cleaning company. Meanwhile, celebrations erupt throughout Spain after the national football team wins its quarter-final match. Amid the excitement, Walter's team prepares for the next stage of the mission. Their objective is to enter the bank and secretly scan the vault using a specialized device capable of generating a blueprint of the Miracle of Engineering system. James cannot participate in this infiltration because he previously served in the military. The bank's facial recognition system would immediately identify him and raise suspicion. Because of this, Tom volunteers to go inside himself. The following day, the bank's security chief, Gustav, arrives at the bank. Along with him are members of the disguised cleaning crew, including Simmons and Tom. Walter's team monitors everything through the CCTV feeds. At the same time, Lauren enters the bank disguised as an official assigned to inspect one of the institution's valuable paintings. During a conversation with Gustav, Lauren discreetly removes a small object from her pocket before quickly putting it away again. The reason for this action remains unknown for now. Meanwhile, Simmons reaches the server room located in the basement and installs a special device. Within moments, complete control of the bank's surveillance network is transferred into Klaus's hands. Elsewhere, Lauren is escorted to another room under the pretense of examining a painting. While pretending to perform her inspection, Klaus records her actions. When Lauren attempts to access a small locker inside the room, Gustav sees only the pre-recorded footage of her examining the painting because Klaus has replaced the live feed with the fake recording. Inside the locker, Lauren discovers a key. She immediately scans it before carefully placing it back exactly where it was. At the same time, Tom reaches an empty room positioned directly above the Miracle of Engineering vault. There, he sets up a scanning device and begins collecting data from the vault below. After scanning the key, Lauren returns it to its original location. Just then, the owner of the bank arrives and starts speaking with her, completely unaware that she had just handled one of the bank's most important keys. Tom keeps the scanner operating. During this time, several people enter the room above for a meeting. Fortunately, since they remain on the upper level, none of them notice Tom concealed beneath them. Meanwhile, Lauren is instructed to inspect another painting. While carrying out the inspection, she discovers a second key and immediately scans it as well. At the same time, Tom allows the scanner to run longer than necessary. This turns out to be a serious mistake. The bank's security system detects unusual activity and instantly activates an alert. Within seconds, alarms begin sounding throughout the building. The bank shifts into maximum security mode and even military personnel start preparing for a possible response. Lauren is just about to return the second key when the bank owner unexpectedly arrives and escorts her outside. As a result, the key remains in her possession. Tom quickly reaches her location, takes the key, and places it back exactly where it belongs before anyone notices. A short time later, security officers arrive to inspect the room. The moment they enter, Tom acts as if he is carrying out ordinary cleaning duties. Because of this, nobody becomes suspicious. Even Gustav believes everything appears normal. He cannot understand what caused the alarm and assumes that perhaps some kind of electrical malfunction triggered the system. Satisfied with that explanation, he drops the matter. Soon afterward, it is revealed that the scanning device installed in the room above has successfully completed its task. The entire interior structure of the Miracle of Engineering vault has now been mapped, giving the team a complete blueprint of the system. After examining the blueprint, Tom begins explaining the vault's design to the others. The vault is protected on every side by incredibly thick concrete walls. Beneath it runs a tunnel, while directly overhead sits an enormous water tank. The moment Tom notices the tank, everything suddenly makes sense. Earlier, they had obtained a drawing showing a giant statue inside the vault room holding a set of scales. Tom now realizes what it means. The scales are connected to a weight-sensitive mechanism. Even the smallest change in weight inside the vault will immediately trigger the release of all the water stored in the tank above. The room would flood within moments, trapping and drowning anyone inside. Tom explains that opening the vault itself is not the difficult part. The true challenge is entering it and escaping alive afterward. Elsewhere, Gustav and the bank owner remain puzzled. Everything inside the bank appears perfectly normal, yet they still cannot explain why the alarm activated. While they search for answers, Tom continues studying the blueprint and experimenting with possible methods of entering and leaving the vault safely. Meanwhile, James and Simmons continue their own investigation and eventually locate the tunnel running beneath the vault. Inside, they discover a massive machine. After examining the weight-measuring gauge attached to it, they finally understand how the entire system operates. The meter confirms exactly what Tom had predicted. Any alteration in weight inside the vault room automatically triggers the flooding mechanism. They also discover another important detail. The vault itself is constructed directly above the tunnel. However, James and Simmons soon bring troubling news to Walter. In order to create a passage from the tunnel into the vault, the excavation work would require at least 15 days. Hearing this discourages everyone. At the moment, the entire country's attention is focused on the football tournament. In 15 days, the tournament will be over. Once the excitement ends, public attention will return to normal, making the robbery far more difficult. As Walter stands thinking about the problem, he glances out a nearby window. He notices that almost every CCTV camera in the city is aimed toward the streets packed with people watching football matches. At that instant, a new idea forms. If entering through the tunnel is impractical, perhaps they can enter from the roof of the bank instead. The perfect opportunity would be the day of the football final, when the entire nation is focused on the match and virtually nobody is paying attention to anything else. The team agrees that the robbery will take place during the final match. But another complication soon appears. Gustav discovers that over the last 2 days, none of the employees from the bank's legitimate cleaning company have entered the building. This means the individuals posing as cleaners were imposters. Gustav immediately investigates further and uncovers the fake identities used by Simmons and Tom. He gathers all the evidence and presents it to the bank owner. "Someone attempted to infiltrate our bank. We must increase security immediately." Before long, news of Gustav's discovery reaches Walter's team. They realize that Gustav now strongly suspects both Simmons and Tom. Their real identities are dangerously close to being exposed. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation, Walter immediately contacts Margaret. "2 members of our team have disappeared. The British police have arrested them. You need to inform the Bank of Spain about this, otherwise our plan cannot continue." Margaret agrees to help. Meanwhile, just as Gustav is making arrangements to strengthen the bank's security even further, a message suddenly arrives for him, saying that Simons and Tom have been arrested in England for theft. Hearing this, the pressure on the bank eases slightly. Elsewhere, Lauren takes Tom to a pub and opens up about her past. She tells him that after her father died, Walter was the only person who looked after her, which is why she works for him. During their conversation, Tom notices Klaus freezing something, and a new idea suddenly comes to him. He places a glass of water on a weighing scale, then freezes it with nitrogen and puts it back. Surprisingly, the scale shows no weight. Tom explains that if they can freeze the vault's weight detection system, they can move in and out without triggering it. Everyone agrees with the plan, and Simons is assigned the task of freezing the machine. Preparations begin immediately. It is revealed that the coffee cup Lauren previously handed to Gustav allowed the team to obtain his fingerprints. Meanwhile, Walter purchases 3 ancient coins, though the reason remains unknown. The 2 keys Lauren scanned inside the bank are duplicated perfectly. Everything is finally ready for the heist. Another important truth is revealed. The team's target is not the treasure seized by Spain. What they really want is the special chest containing 3 coins engraved with clues that reveal the location of Francis Drake's hidden treasure. The next day, Spain is consumed by football fever. Klaus prepares his computer systems, Simons positions himself in the tunnel, and Walter monitors everything from a distance. At the same time, James, Tom, and Lauren reach the bank's roof using ropes. Despite increased security, they carefully remove a glass panel and enter the bank. Moving through an air duct, they reach the lift section. A broken bridge blocks their way, forcing them to use a ladder. Tom and Lauren cross safely. James nearly falls when the ladder shakes under his weight, but Tom catches him just in time. The trio reaches a secured door. Klaus hacks the password and sends it to them. Once entered, the door opens, and they finally stand before the legendary miracle of engineering vault. Using Gustav's fingerprints and the duplicated key, they unlock it. Inside are priceless jewels and a golden statue. Meanwhile, Simon sprays nitrogen onto the giant weight detection machine in the tunnel. At first, nothing happens, and everyone fears the plan has failed, but gradually the machine freezes completely. The team enters the vault and begins searching for the special chest containing the 3 coins. However, the machine soon starts warming up again. At the same time, Gustav's team notices a pigeon inside the bank and traces it back to the point where the thieves entered. Gustav immediately realizes someone is inside the bank. Walter's team also learns that their presence has been discovered. Walter orders everyone to surrender, but James points a gun and demands the chest containing the 3 coins. His actions confuse everyone. Moments later, the vault door shuts because the system has recalibrated and started detecting weight again. The military surrounds the bank while water begins flooding into the vault. James grabs the chest and moves toward the incoming water while Tom and Lauren struggle to keep up. Tom quickly realizes that if the vault appears completely full, the system will stop flooding it. Following his instructions, Simons places heavy cylinders onto the detector in the tunnel to increase the weight reading. Meanwhile, Gustav's team removes the hacking device from the server room, restoring full CCTV control. A camera is repositioned toward the vault, and James somehow manages to escape. Simons keeps adding weight until the machine overloads and the water flow finally stops. Because the hacking device has been removed, Walter and Klaus have no idea whether Tom and Lauren survived. But when Gustav's men finally enter the vault room, they find it empty. Tom and Lauren have escaped. Soon, Walter hears their voices through his earpiece. Against all odds, they have made it into the crowded streets outside. The military searches for them, but both are wearing football uniforms and blend perfectly into the celebrating crowd. At that exact moment, Spain wins the final. Massive celebrations erupt everywhere, allowing Tom and Lauren to disappear without being noticed. Later, Walter meets Margaret. It is revealed that James has secretly been working for her. He hands over the chest before leaving. When Margaret examines the coins, she discovers they are fake. The truth finally comes out. Walter had purchased 3 old coins beforehand. When the real coins were recovered from the vault, Lauren secretly swapped them with the fakes. Walter had planned everything from the beginning. Now the genuine coins are in Walter's possession. After decoding the markings engraved on them, the team discovers that Francis Drake's hidden treasure is buried beneath the Bank of England itself.